everybody. Welcome to our PTTU podcast series. Today, I have Becca Ironside on with us, and we're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to Becca's heart because she's kind of built her whole PTTU practice off of it, but also I think just in general, how we operate as a small business and helping physical therapists become their own small business owners, which is being a niche type of provider. And so one of the reasons that individually, I think as an organization, we've had a lot of success and why we've been able to build really strong and long-term relationships is due to the fact that we are niche marketing. PT2 obviously is a mobile Part B therapy group. So in that and in providing house calls and being a little bit unique in how we're providing care, we're already in that category where people are going to be thinking about us differently when they think about what patients they want to send to us. But we wanted to bring Becca on because she's had a lot of really great success. We've done some co-marketing together as well. But I think what's kind of been the really cool thing is that she's just been so consistent in her efforts in niche marketing and sharing all of these random facts about everything that you do and putting it in a way that is digestible. It's fun, it's light, and it draws people to be really connected to you. And you just have that way about you just in how you're building your reputation. So yeah, I'd love to hand the mic over to you and just tell us a little bit about your experience so far and kind of what's worked for you. And maybe there's a couple things that I think could even be generalized for other therapists and other avenues of niche marketing.
Sure, absolutely. So I started pelvic floor 10 years ago, and it was in the state of New Jersey. So that was a very, very different market than today's world and the state in which we're in, which is Florida. So when I started that, I signed on with a group and they did a lot of marketing themselves, but we were really pushed and encouraged, which was really good for me to learn how to do, to go out in between patients to certain doctors' offices and try to spread the word about what the niche was and really to educate doctors on what we could provide them with. What I found most interesting then, and it's even gotten more compounded now, is that it's very hard to get through a doctor's door and convey information that they're not interested in. So you have to make very certain that what you are providing them with is something that is on their level. So if they're going to make time for you, whether that be 2-3 minutes, it has got to be really, really densely compacted information that you can provide for them and hand them a resource. So for some people, it is your business card. For other people, maybe it's your YouTube channel. But it has to be so streamlined in such a way that it's really, really coming across to a doctor who is overburdened, a nurse practitioner who is worn out. It has to be fresh, exciting, and fast-paced for them to want to really grab a hold of it.
I love that. I love those 3 words you just used because I don't typically describe like office visits like that, but that's exactly what it really needs to be in order to catch their attention, to make them drawn in and want to help their patient, but also just want to create a relationship with you because you're another great resource for. I think there's 9 million people coming in there on a regular basis, but then they see you and you're just this pipeline of energy and good information, and it's quick and it's easy and it's digestible. So you build your reputation just in that first visit, basically, and it really just takes off. I love the way that you just put that together.
Something that you taught me, Savanna, is you're going to get a vibe as soon as you walk through that door. You're going to know if you're wasting your time or you're not. And that was very helpful information in co-marketing with you because I wasn't very good at that. Even in New Jersey, I would just sort of go and, I was under a much bigger an umbrella of this huge company. So I didn't exactly know how to get in there and get the job done. So there are going to be offices where you go in and it's a dead end. And it's just important to know where the dead ends are. But another thing I find that's I would say unique to PTTU is you're dealing with a lot of Medicare Part B patients. So think about this. They're people 65 and older. Who is your audience, right? So the patients are 65 and older, typically, not always, but typically. Who are the doctors? Now, older doctors, and this is a generalization, but I've been a PT for a really long time, and it's sort of easy to fall into the rut of just doing your job and going home. If you
Yes.
can find younger practitioners, they're a little bit more hungry. They want to build their practice and they want it to stand out. So if you can find that younger energy, because they're referring to the 65 and older people. So you can't market directly, to the 65 and older. It's harder to do, but you can market directly to the young, fresh doctors who want the broad Medicare population and they want to stand out. They don't want to be, no offense, maybe I shouldn't say this, like a Conviva kind of chain. They don't want that. So you got
Right.
to find
No, no,
those
100%.
people.
Yep, yep. I love that comparison. It's really true. You want to find the people that they're wanting to make a difference in each patient's life and find the thing that one makes them good, but on the other side of it, they want to find something that makes the patient like it gets them better. It gets them better. And if they use something that's more specialized, it just makes them look good. The patients get better. It's a full circle moment. You're never really missing the mark on, taking care of people. And that's really what, at the end of the day, what it's about. So I love that.
Yeah, there was a really good
What?
visit that we did. I'm sorry, a really good visit that we did with a local doctor. She's young. I mean, I put her in her late 30s. Anyway, we got
Yeah.
a bunch of referrals from her. She is just, and from talking to her patients, they love her. She's new on the scene. They feel listened to. They feel cared for. They feel different
Yep.
than the people who are coming into those big WellMed kind of buildings. And so
Yep.
that's the
Yep.
energy you got to tap into in terms of that provider. What do they want to give their patients? And can you be part of that with your niche?
Yeah. I mean, what you do ricochets off of that. So it's kind of the best kept secret when they have you in your back pocket. And yeah, I mean I love that. So tell me a little bit more about, other than like your physician facing marketing, some of your other videos and all that good stuff, because I think that also creates more reach across the board.
Okay, so this is a good example. I love that you brought this up. If you're dealing with younger doctors, they will be more inclined to be on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. If you're dealing with older providers, they're not. So if you want to go with an older provider and you're making your mark with them, great. Have like a YouTube link. People trust YouTube. It's a very old platform. It's a safe platform. That's a nice way to get in with the older crowd. And I know this because I go on Reddit a lot. And I deal with young men with penile issues, and then I deal with over 65, usually guys with prostate cancer. And if I post a link on Reddit from Instagram, the guys on the prostate cancer site will be like, I'm not tapping on that. I don't trust that. So I've had to learn
Mhm.
how to gauge what's the message and what's the best way to get it to the people who need it. So something else that helped, social media, I will say this, it's great, but it doesn't always get you the patients that you want. And
Right.
they just doesn't because you're marketing to the client. Who is the gatekeeper? It's the practitioner. It's
Yep.
not the
Yep.
client.
They're the ones that are doing the ordering. Right. And then they're going to think, okay, well, let me go to my doctor and talk to them about this. And half of them don't know about you. So it kind of brings you back to that. How do I reach my direct audience is directly through the provider, directly through the physician, through whatever other resources you have, home care agencies. I mean, there's a lot of different referral avenues, right?
Yeah,
But building that relationship based off of exactly what you do, why you do, and how you do it, and then those patients are going to they show up every day at their office.
right.
So they're constantly looking for that.
So I love to write articles. And so I started writing a lot of articles for this health union organization, and they had small subspecialties of interest. One of them was endometriosis, one was multiple sclerosis, and one was prostate cancer. So I started that like 5, 6 years ago, and I didn't really put any thought into it. People loved the articles, but I was just like, I don't know where this is headed, but whatever. Now, when I walk into a doctor's office, I can say I write for prostatecancer.net. Here's my article. It is under 300 words, which is how they train you to write because they know that nobody has any time. So that is a way to get to the provider that a video might not accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Print.
Yeah,
I mean, if you put something in front of their face, they're probably going to look at it, but giving them a link can kind of be a little bit passive. Again, like we say, just depending on your crowd. And that's why it's good to talk about all the different avenues, because if you do a little bit of everything, then eventually something's going to hit, right? You're going to find what really works for you. And for you, it's been this way. And I love that you write articles. I mean, bringing that directly into the office, it's your credibility that you're placing in their space, but also it's a little bit of food for thought. I mean, we're teaching them oftentimes about things that they're experts in their field, but they're not experts in PT. So we have a space where we can also be teachers and be educators, and work together in that kind of way.
And here's another thing. If you're not inclined to writing, that's fine. What you should do, let's just say you were starting a pitching program, right? For young college age guys. What you'd want to do is find a research study on Google Scholar that promoted why physical therapy helps the pitchers, what it does. And you want to bring that into the doctor's office. Conversely, if you loved a golf program, you would want to talk about prevention of low back injuries in the average golfer, why physical therapy can help. And if it's on Google Scholar, these are medical journals. Doctors trust this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really nice because, again, not everybody wants to write articles. I completely understand that.
Yep. That's the beauty of it. You know, there's a way to market for everybody. So if that's your avenue, you're a good, an avid writer, then you can do the writing. If you're an avid, you're really relational, then you go into the office. If you feel like speaking in front of a camera resonates with you, then you make your videos. So there's 9 million ways to do it. And somehow you've like weaved all of those ways in your niche that have just created so many layers of credibility. It's like you can't deny the fact that you're a great resource for patients. So what are they going to do with it besides use it?
I think the other thing that helps, though not as much as directly marketing to the practitioners and the doctors, is getting involved with groups who share this interest, because you never know where that's going to lead you. I've done talks for this group called the Reluctant Brotherhood. They're this huge online prostate support group, and that all started from Reddit, and somebody found me. But think about that. I love dealing with guys with prostate cancer. The more I meet them, the more they tell their doctors, and they're all over the world. So that's super exciting. Yeah. So if you can find your people that way, again, it might not lead to direct patients, right? But it is going to lead to sort of that crack in the wall that leads to all the other cracks that eventually makes you really big.
I love, yes, absolutely, absolutely. I don't even have words for that. I think that was amazing. But that's great. Is there anything else that you want to share that I feel like would be helpful or useful for our people that are marketing all sorts of niches?
I would say absolutely know your audience. So again, through PTDU, you're typically dealing with the Medicare population. Who are they? Are they snowbirds? Are they not? What are their interests? How can you get in there and really provide them something that stands out? Because anybody can go to physical therapy. I mean, and they can go anywhere. So in that way, it's like the outpatient market is a saturated one. And most people hate it because they go there and they put themselves on a bike and they don't feel touched. And that's another thing you can really promote about yourself. And this is something I've done in the Medicare Part A world. I touch every single patient I go into their house, even if it's not related to pelvic floor. If they have a total knee replacement, I'm giving them a bowel massage because I know they're on opiates and I know they're constipated. If you touch people, even if it's for 3 minutes, you are changing the entire nature of their experience, because a lot of times this isn't happening in the outpatient setting, which is heartbreaking to me.
Right. You're kind of an exercise manager instead of a clinician. You're just directing people around a room so that you're able to manage as many patients as you can instead of treat the individual that's in front of you, make a difference, get them in and out of your hands, and then start the same process with other people. But instead it's more cyclical. These patients are just not getting better. And it's really just such a disservice to our field.
It really is. It's a huge disservice to our field. And I will say this, back in New Jersey, I finally built up what I call my core family of patients. There's usually 5 people. That's my average. 5 people where I become their family. It just happens. Well, it took me 2.5 years to get this in Florida. It took forever, but I have my 5 people. And it is the best feeling. I can be in somebody's house and something terrible will happen. They'll have a death in the family, and I'm sitting in their living room and they hear about it. That goes a very, very long way in terms of trust. It is a beautiful sensation to be people with the deepest losses of their lives. And let's face it, a lot of these are older people. They're sustaining losses every day. They're getting maybe their
Yeah.
car keys taken away. They don't have the independence that they had. Maybe they can't see as many girlfriends. Maybe the girlfriends are dying. This is what happens when we are all at a certain stage of life. It's going to happen to you and it's going to happen to me. But if you can be there
Yeah.
emotionally for somebody while stretching their knee, what better job is there?
Right. And talk about niche, it doesn't get much more deep than that because, I mean, how else do you really touch lives and make a difference and do what we do is with the hands-on approach that we have, and not just in going into this patient's home and kind of embodying that sense of being a part of the family. I mean, that already is kind of creating something different, but then you weave in what you do and how you do it. And just even saying that, someone's going to have that wow moment that's what they've been needing the whole time. And when you treat every patient like that, there's no reason that you're not going to have a ripple effect with other patients, other people in their corner, their families. I mean, anybody else that you're seeing in that patient's home and beyond that. So when you're working with them outside, I mean, you're going to see the neighbors when you're in that patient's home and somebody comes to visit them. So yeah, there's a lot of layers to it. And when you can dig in like a little bit deeper to that, you just, like you say, you open up all these amazing opportunities, all these doors that just start to shake out. So I love that. Great.
Yeah, I just find it so crucial, especially in today's world that is just being more bought out by corporate enterprises. There's really less of a personal feel with all of PT, and that to me was heartbreaking. I mean, I've worked in assisted livings where you're just going from room to room to room, and it can just really wear you down. The energy of the
Absolutely.
patients, your energy, you need to find a space within your career if you want to save your career, which is that's why I went into pelvic floor PT. I had to save my career. Otherwise I
Yes.
wasn't going to make it. So I had to find something that was going to work for me to prolong what I thought was the end and make it joyful for me so that it was just
Yes.
worth it. Like it has your life, it's your job, but it should be worth it to you. It should be just,
If that doesn't give you purpose, what will?
I totally agree. And the world does not celebrate that. It doesn't.
Yeah.
We do, and individuals do. So you kind of have to be you have to be a trailblazer with the passion because no one's going to give it to you.
Yep.
In today's world with these jobs that I've been offered, I can't even tell you the level of depression I went through. When I moved from New Jersey, my career was like a 9.5. I moved to Florida and all I get is home health offerings, Medicare Part A. And it was the
Mm-hmm.
loneliest thing. You have no coworkers. Your patients may or may not want you there because the doctor ordered it. So, you're kind of there. But are you really
Mm-hmm.
making a difference? Maybe not. So I'm finally
Yeah.
now at the level where I'm building back up. So I would say my career now is at a 7.5 and rising, which makes me really happy now.
That's Thank you. Thank you for even sharing that because it's hard to show the ebbs and flows of our career and then just to say, look, you can have this little dip, but you can also see the rise of it. And when you're seeing the rise of it in a way that you're making a true difference in people's lives and you're in your lane, you're in your powerhouse and no one can really stop you. I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see it all the way back up to a 10 again.
Me too. And it's that
Yeah.
whole, that theory that people say, if you've had a bad childhood, which many people have, or a rough time growing up. They say all it took in anybody's life is one person to believe in them. A third grade teacher, an auntie, a neighbor. It could be anybody, but you don't know if you're going to be that person, somebody. They're at maybe the end of their lives, and maybe they don't have a support system, and maybe you're it. And that is a powerful feeling.
Absolutely. Wow. We went deep today. I love it. So I guess in to kind of like wrap all of this up, what would be an action item? And I'm kind of brainstorming a little bit too as we brought up so many good topics. What would be a good action item for all of the therapists that are going to watch this video, I guess on the back end? What do we think would be one thing that they could do? I mean, I guess I'll start. When I think about one thing that they could possibly do, I would just think to pull out a piece of paper and write down, what is it that gives you purpose? What is it that you feel like when you're providing therapy gives you meaning? Is it just in the way that you care about people? Is it your pelvic floor niche? Is it orthopedics? Is it treating neuro patients? Is it a specific type of patient? Like, who is that avatar? Who's that person that you're like, this is who I'm in it for? Write it out. Describe this person. Like, visualize who this person and future patient of yours is, and then put something together that you can put in 2 or 3 sentences that you can say to somebody and easily deliver and convince to them, like we talked about in that first doctor's office visit. How are you going to wow them? What's going to make them feel like, I need to take this person's business card because someone's going to walk in here, a patient's going to walk in here and need this, and if I don't grab this card, I'm not doing my job, you know? So I think that's one thing I would definitely be doing.
I love
What
that.
about you?
The writing it
Therapy
down,
side.
the writing it down is key. So even just a bunch of
Yeah.
thoughts and ideas, because it'll kind of cohese once you start doing that. Find Find something about one person that you really, really love. And if you could do anything to help them, what would it be? Anything. This person, you love this person, right? And then imagine that impact that you have. I want to do this for you because I love you. Imagine that on a smaller scale and feeling that sensation every day. What that would feel like to you as you're driving around in your car. What would it feel like if somebody opened the door and was like, thank God you're here. We've got to talk. Something happened on General Hospital. This is a very good feeling,
Yeah.
to give and receive love in that capacity. And I know that sounds a bit weird, but to me, it is. It's just this exchange of energy between people is what keeps me going. Because when I was doing Medicare Part A and going to assisted livings, there was no exchange of energy. It was a job. I could have been an orangutan, and that's depressing. But an orangutan can't help somebody when their best friend dies. An orangutan can't do that. You can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for coming on here today and just being such a bubbly, amazing, full of light resource for all of our therapists that are going to be watching this video. I can't thank you enough. And thank you for literally being the trailblazer of pelvic floor under PTTU. I mean, we don't have anybody else doing it the way you're doing it, and it speaks volumes. And when you can see the power of somebody actually being the person that's doing it on a day-to-day basis, it'll have that effect on everybody else too. So thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say to the PTs out there, I know how you feel. There were times I just was so despondent. I know how you feel. Don't give up. There's still more joy to be had in this profession. I promise you there is. You just have to find it. Don't give up.